frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows. For you who've been trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable.
So they are making it to the top four, but we do go move into the red game.
And let's move to the red matchup then. And Woody will start us off with a mass mutation deck, Saurian, Shadows, and Starlines.
Yeah, this is just totally different. I feel like hopping from like KOTE and AOA, like hop to MM, and it's like totally different game.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'll start with Saurian here. You know, I'm one of those people who like kind of scoffs at MM Saurian sometimes. This one I kind of like with the double Ludo, Faust with Monument to Faust, double defense initiative to do some warding, ancient power to do warding, Axiom to clear a board in the right matchup. That seems like a pretty solid Saurian house as far as, you know, holding that line. I mean, it's a lot of warding actually. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. But it is, and the key manipulation is nice to an extent if you're in a position to control a game like that
with the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving to the shadows, you know, double look over there is always good. Perplexing sophistry, always good. Double vandalize. Double secret needle is interesting. I mean, you wish that there was like a rad penny or something, but just even being able to do that 2 damage sometimes is really nice, or to like pop wards and that kind of thing. But it is like a relatively steely disruptive shadows. Shadowsmith could be kind of big if that gets out there and they protect it well, and everything's got elusive and is warded. Like you can imagine that kind of like board domination.
Yeah, the mutant count is fairly high, so you really do get that.
Yeah, no, that's so true. The Starlines is an interesting one. I mean, the first thing I always look at is like transporter platform, and in this deck, especially with the Drixker commander, you look at just like how many upgrades are going to be bouncing back and forth. Truthfully, there's just the Observumax, and Stealthster is not going to give you any amber, but it's an interesting set of like Stealthster and Explo Rover. Like you could beef something up and make it hard to deal with. Again, like that board domination. Subject Kirby will help bring out, especially those Saurian pieces, I think, that are probably the most important to this deck.
Yeah, and just thinking about those upgrades, what is it? You have Explorer Rover, which you can use as an upgrade. You've got the Stealthster, and you've got the Observumax. So it's the 3 realistically, right?
Right.
And I'm just double checking for anything in other houses, but
there's a play where you're doing that for like 9 amber, right? Because of the Drixker.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be for 3 each play, and then you're getting the amber bonuses. So yeah, you can really potentially cash that in for quite a lot, which is pretty scary. But I'll move to the AC regulars deck here. Miss Tough Ra Farouk, something like that. This is first and foremost a Quixel deck that really wants to play Quixel. So it's got Quixel Stone, and then it has a whole bunch of C. Hadron Collision is really, really nice, especially in the era of Dark Tidings. This will actually hold up really nicely to knock out some of those low power, high armor creatures. But my head is a little bit in that set right now. But we've got an Anthony to kind of just like nag a huge amount of amber and try to get the win down. Now, what is really interesting here, other than the C, is when we move to the shadows here. So like I said, ignoring the sea, which we already know about, we've got Perplexing Sophistry to toss a card out of hand, double Vandalize, and both decks are actually sharing those 3 cards, trying to disrupt each other's kind of fundamental game plans, which is really interesting. Gambling Den for a little bit of an amber boost. And we've got a Rad Penny with, a decent number of ways to knock it out. It's a little harder because the Dark Waves aren't going to kill it for you, but you've got enough here. We have Moving in the Dis, an Implosion, double Shadow of Dis, which could actually come in rather large here with the Faust cost manipulation, and then just being able to like blank if you're in one of those platformer loops, you might be able to blank your Discagar guy. Pick a rune, very kind of, some of it is relatively pedestrian, which, like I said, at the SAS level you always expect. Double Snorette can do a good amount of stuff, but what we're really talking about here is a Quixel deck with a whole bunch of C, 20 expected, which is like, a polite amount of amber. So if we're in a position where we can put that Quixel down at this SAS level, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. That being said, moving to the specific matchup here, we're both playing double Vandalize, we're both playing Perplexing Sophistry, and I'm pretty unsure that I would be able to actually get the card down. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you're totally right. The Vandalizes are big in this matchup. And kind of the timing of the Quixel Stone is big. Miss Tough Raw here is 18 printed amber, and that just suggests that even if they're sort of in that creature lock, which can happen with Quixel, like they're still going to be able to just like check, pretty handedly.
I mean, especially at the SAS level, like 18 printed is going to just kind of reign supreme when you're not able to play creatures. Like, it just is.
Yeah, and the Quixel especially, like I feel like once that sort of comes out, it could be a bit of a tough situation. I mean, kind of funny enough, V-Song could like exile something random to your side just so that it could like
right,
lock you and build more creatures on its own side. But yeah, other than that, it's going to have a tough time.
There are some answers, like you said, like that exile is actually potentially really interesting, but I think I just have the pip advantage here.
Oh, I would definitely exile Pterodactyl to your side and just let it sit there.
That would be a pain. So you
like,
do have, like,
you could like use all 3 Hedron collisions, it's still gonna be alive.
Yeah, I'd have to like implosion it or something.
Right.
You do have a lot of responses though. But I
Yeah.
do think early Quixel I win. Late Quixel it's more interesting, but I actually still like the AC Regulars deck just on the printed amber advantage, and just having roughly equivalent cards but a printed amber advantage.
Yeah, it's I think it's funny because actually kind of thinking about the Quixel play, it's like everything that V-Song wants to do, it can kind of still do it to an extent. It sort of depends, right? But it's like it can do the big like upgrade play with Transporter Platform to kind of, you just need like one space on the line to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. There are ways kind of around it.
There is a potential game where AC Regulars put down the Quixel turn 1 and they're like, oh, I'm great, and then we've God-handed with V-Song into this like platformer loop, and then we exile something and all of a sudden it's game over. That could actually happen.
Yeah, I mean they're both pretty low creature count. Like,
right.
It seems like V-Song could play the game of a Quixel. Like it wouldn't be kind of out of the question.
Oh no, I totally agree with that. Like, it's not like dead, but the reason that I give the edge to the AC Regulars here is pretty much like my final thought on it, I suppose. But the reason I give it is literally just that printed amber advantage, because I think it becomes a very even game.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like if we can get it down. Now, if we don't get Quixel, I think the C is still good against your deck, so I think it becomes like a 50-50 game without early Quixel. Maybe a slight edge to V-Song, but
no, there's so many like 3 and 2.
Okay, what the hell's happened here? The game's started while the audio's still good.
I don't know. My video. Do we jump ahead? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you managed to do that.
I haven't got a clue. It's not. I separate it all out. Must be one mistake.
Okay, let's go.
Sorry about that. So we're starting on turn 2. Nice strong board control coming from Stalin. Joker. Oh, and the wrong way around as well. The fact the red game has just always been a pain for me. And early Anthony is a bit of a shame to see, but we've got Joe Keller. It is ahead on Amber, but Faust could be a big issue. Mathematician does like to have his big boards out. You are correct there, Ultimo. Subtle Otto does get rid of the gambling den. That is a shame. Gambling den can be a lot of fun. And Perplexing Sophisticated gets rid of Shadow of Dis. That's 2 huge hits for the RNG. Ludo, Defense Initiative, and Exile in hand with a Gassi with double pips. Oof. Dark Minion does come down. Going to be interesting to see if he can utilize the damage without the cleansing waves. Jupiter's got a really cool double gambling den as well. That you're always guaranteed to get at least 2.
Yeah, always.
Well, you lose the 2 first, but you always get back. It's a nice gambler's fallacy. So now we see an Ancient Power, Monument to Faust, Defense Initiative, Ludo, and an Exile. This is a nice start. Saurian board. The Saurian board is going to do some nice work here. Booby Trap does do some major damage to that board. Now we see Implosion, Picaroon. Oof. Monument to Faust comes down. So even if Faust dies, those keys, that's not going cheap. And Star Luton gets the red key early on. Free gambling. Oh, free gambling. I thought you had a free gambling dens in a deck. That would be amazing. So Chris muted us because he's typing out. Do apologise there, Ultimate. Ludo does get taken out due to the implosion with the damage pips. Narette is gone. Star Luton gets back up to 6. Joe Keller has no real way to come back, but the Rad Penny should keep off check. Yeah, Rad Penny will keep off check there. Yeah, the Ancient Power did a lot of damage. It wasn't even the Ancient Power, it was the Defense Initiative, the one that wards up, then add an Amber, ward up the neighbours. The Defense Initiatives are very strong here, especially with the ability to keep Faust alive. Because we see Joe Keller gets to 7, but then, yeah, here we go. Star Luton just comes straight back in, plays self out, stopping the reaping. Fights, gets rid of Gamgee, and then we're going to see Defense Initiative come down, ward up Pterodactyl, put 1 Amber down, which stops Joe Keller getting the Amber in, and then uses the Monument of Faust to make the keys cost 9, just in case of any key cheese. And now we see Bone Venom. Oh, this is going to be huge. Subdue. Yeah. Then we see so he loses the ability to, but does gain 1 Amber from that. That's a little bit of a misplay from Joe Keller. Yeah, attacks it, does end up killing it. It goes for a fight. You've just paused on. You've just restarted the video.
It shouldn't have. There you go.
It has to. Yeah, you've just zoomed. You've gone back a little bit. There you go. So that's a quick stop. Starting on blue key. So we missed like 1 turn, but it should be fine. You need to get rid of these keyboard shortcuts.
There's only 1 keyboard shortcut I got left. And that's unfortunately I had to type that key.
Shellsmith comes down. Oh, discards the Shellsmith because of Quicksilver. Bomb at the Venom and uses the damage pip to get rid of the red penny. So we are going to see a pain reaction. Get rid of the researcher, dealing an extra 2 damage to Pterodactyl. Soul Fiddle going to erase Pterodactyl as well. Oh, discards the Malphacon. Does not want to give any kind of way to draw cards. Reap. Place the standard gaze. Use the monument to Faust to increase key cost to 7. You've done it again.
Sorry. That was me hit the wrong key.
So back where we were. Pterodactyl Reap, Lunar Reap, Faust Monument, Stargate Gaze just to exalt the Pterodactyl. Red Penny, Dark Wave, Red Penny gets off the check again. Plays the Tempting Offer. Does allow the capture, but gives additional amber. Red Penny. Yeah, Red Penny's gonna die here due to the Seeking Needle. So place the auto, discards the Silent Gaze from this. Plays Vandalize. Place the secondary Seeking Needle, place the Seeking Needle onto Red Penny, going, you can now forge. But 9 amber is unstoppable, even if there was a way to kill the Bramble before, in the opponent's turn, before the forge step. It isn't going to be a... unfortunately, ultimately, the labels are the wrong way around. It's the Starship looters that have got this red game. I didn't notice that they'd switched the placement, so AC regulars do move forward, but it's a 2-1 win. Starship looters did pull it back in the red game. Very well played, all 3 games. It was absolutely intense. That's the end of the video.
I mean, that's about awesome game. Sorry
if
there.
you still have the match, I will, yes.